Stories. I'm here with Dave Campbell, and we're going to discuss his song, and it's what?
Make Me a Servant.
Make Me a Servant. Oh, when I first looked at it, I thought it was a serpent.
There's another gentleman, when he duplicated it, said, make me a serpent. Make me a servant.
Oh, wow.
Make me a servant, yes.
And make me a servant. Now, you know, I know a lot of rich people that were just waiting for someone to say that to them.
Right. Well,
in fact, I know a lot of people
right.
that are waiting for their relationship to say that, but I haven't saw any yet.
No. Well, I was sitting in Sunday school class one day listening to the Sunday school lesson.
Right.
It was about the prodigal son. And you know the story of the prodigal son, how he had gotten his portion of his inheritance from his father, gone into a foreign country and wasted it all. A young Jewish boy, I presume he was Jewish, woke up in the hog pen. They weren't supposed to be having anything to do with hogs, but that was the best job he could find, famine in the country. And he was starving to death. And he thought to himself, now my father back home has servants, and they all have plenty of bread to eat and to spare, and I'm his son, and I'm starving to death in this foreign country. I know what I'll do. I will arise and I'll go to my father, and I'll say, Father, I've sinned against heaven and in thy sight. I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. Just make me a servant. And he left the hog pen and started home. And while he was on his way home, the father, I don't know if he always had a fatted calf up or if he was anticipating his son's return, but the father must have looked down the road often to see if his son was coming, because one day the son got pretty close to home, and the father saw him while he was yet a great way off. And he ran and fell on his neck and kissed the son, and had a robe put on him and shoes put on his feet, and told the servant to kill the fatted calf. But in my imagination, I could just see this young man as he's going home. He's embarrassed because he's wasted his inheritance. And now he's got to go home, and he's got to put himself in the best light that he can. So he's repeating this prayer, or this apology to his father. And he's saying, Father, I've sinned against heaven. In your sight, I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. Make me a hired servant. He was willing to forego the sonship and become a servant just for survival. So I'm sure that he practiced that prayer, that apology, all the way home. And when he got there, and his father saw him and greeted him and began to restore him, the young man started his apology to his father. And he said, Father, I've sinned against heaven in thy sight, and I'm no more worthy to be called thy son. That's as far as he got in the apology. Because when a repentant person comes to God and they say, I'm not worthy, just make me a servant, we become the sons of God. And he restores the sonship to us. And that's the story of Make Me a Servant.
Oh. And do you have a real life example for yourself?
Probably so, but I probably wouldn't want to share it.
A preacher not wanting to share something?
The problem with too many people is they glorify their past. And there may be somebody out there that just can't wait to try what they tried, because it seems like they were having such a good time while they were out there before they finally got their life straight.
Before they repented.
Right. So you need to be leery of that, and I know God saves, forgives, delivers, restores, does all of those things. And I would be glad to talk about the salvation and deliverance and all of that. but I don't think
You're
we ought to
not going to tell us.
I don't think we ought to give the devil any glory at all. He doesn't get any time on my show. Needless to say, I was a prodigal son. And when I said just make me a servant, he made me a son.
Oh, that's awesome. That is.
It is awesome.
It is.
It is awesome.
It's a gift that you were fortunate to get.
For by grace are you saved through faith. It's a gift of God, not of works, lest any man should boast. We are his workmanship. And the old filthy rags of sin are replaced by a robe of righteousness. And we are righteous not because of our works, not because of anything that we've done, but we are the righteousness of God in Christ Jesus according to the Bible. And that righteousness is imputed to us. It's granted, it's given to us as a free gift.
That is cool. And, it's like I'm sitting here. And God brought me here so that you and I could participate.
I believe so. I believe that.
Well, I know it because I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
And he only does the right thing for me.
Right.
So I really, really appreciate it. And I look at that message and I say, that's pretty cool. I like that message. And I have to make a special point on my trip back to look at why I got that message.
Yeah.
Because I don't do any prodigal stuff. I don't remember doing much of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I did live like this. Mm-hmm. But I'll probably talk about it. Hey, that's what you get not having to be a preacher.
Yeah.
So I don't think
a lot of people.
I don't think any of my prodigal stuff is that.
A lot of people spend a lot of time sowing wild oats, and then they spend that much time praying for a crop failure.
That's right. Yeah.
But if you quit sowing cockleburrs, you'll quit reaping cockleburrs.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Start sowing good stuff. Start reaping good stuff.
Well, I think that's my participation right now.
Yeah.
So introduce yourself.
My name is Dave Campbell, and the song you're about to hear is the story of the prodigal son and his return to the Father. And the name of this song is "Make Me a Servant."